Hello everybody, Frankie here from Vibrant Center for Voice and Movement, and I'm here to bring you a live tip. Sometimes in these sessions I give you an exercise that you can do along with me, and other times I'm bringing you resources and tips for you to make use of in your own time and to try. So this one, and you can hear my voice is still recovering, I think, from the cold air. Luckily, I haven't strained it. I'm taking very good care of it, and I think it's just the cold air that I'm still adjusting to. I'm also doing a lot of swimming because I'm not able to run yet, but I will be rehabilitating my knee over the next few weeks. But I've been doing some swimming today, so I'm feeling the cold from the changing room was immensely cold. It was like a fridge. Anyway, but what I want to bring you today is to talk a little bit about pitch. And I work with trans clients and also cisgender clients. Some are actors, some are professionals. And there's something that I work with that affects both, and that is to do with pitch. So I have had a cisgender professional man come talk to me and say, I do a lot of work over the phone and people think I'm a woman, and I want to sound on the phone more in alignment with who I am and to come across as the way that I am. I work with trans clients, some of whom have, for the sake of safety, would like their sound, their voice to present qualities that their listener will then associate with a certain gender, and that can be for safety or for a professional sound or the way that someone wants to come across when they're doing business. Other trans clients don't, that's not, they want a sound that is, they feel that is theirs, but that isn't necessarily prescriptive. And so I want to be very clear that there's no one way to sound, regardless of your gender. But pitch does come up. And also resonance. And I have gone through the resonators and a couple of exercises and videos in the past. And folks have found that that's really useful, and that is more important than pitch. And we can circle back to that another time. But today I want to work with pitch. I also have clients, regardless of their gender, who may tend to talk very low for their vocal folds. And the way that I put it is, if you start in the basement, you can't take an elevator to go any lower. So, for example, if they're presenting some information or a dramatic piece, and then they want to drop down even lower, they don't have anywhere to go. And so then they go, oh, I'm very monotone. And it's not that they're necessarily monotone in that their voice doesn't have the capacity to go in other places, other pitches, but rather that they've started in the lowest and they think that the only place to go is lower. And so we explore, perhaps for your vocal fold, for the structure of your body, finding an optimum pitch that is a little higher than your habitual pitch, and training yourself to feel that and to associate that is, it's not comically high, but then it also means that when you have a pitch where you can go low or high off of that being your new neutral, that then you can have expression in either way. So there may, or either direction. So there may be a time when you want to be funny or light, or you want to describe something in a way that your voice goes up a little higher. You have that option. But also there may be times when you want to emphasize a word by dropping it, or you want to go to a place that feels more visceral or more serious, then you can do that as well. So pitch has there's a lot of reasons to explore pitch, and for this one I'm going to be channeling this for you folks who want to maybe play with a new neutral. Maybe that means raising it or lowering it slightly. How can I train myself? If I've trained myself to have a pitch that maybe is straining my vocal folds because it's a little lower or higher than an optimum neutral would be, how could I train myself to find a slightly different pitch? So you would either decide for yourself or work with a real live teacher to find where that maybe that new neutral can be. And it can be very helpful to have, not that you have to be musically inclined, but it can be very useful to find a sound, right, that you can find on an instrument. And there's also an app, and I will share that app another time, but there's a wonderful app for singers, for trans folks, for people learning accents and dialects. There's a lovely app that in one of its options is just notes, and so that you can find, okay, that tone, and then you can maybe practice speaking in that tone. But for this, today I'm going to use my keyboard. So say you are trying to get used to speaking in a new pitch. Also, maybe your character has a different pitch than you in your real life, right? So Frankie, maybe this is where my pitch is today, but maybe I'm working on a character that's got a little bit of a different pitch, and so I'm going to use this as a home base. That doesn't mean I only stay on that one sound, but that's going to be my neutral. Still overcoming something going on with my poor vocal folds. So the first thing that I'm going to do, find that for myself. Feel that in my body. Feel that in my body. Blah. Oh dear, poor vocal folds. Poor vocal folds. And now I'm going to start with a hum. That's my home base. Maybe I'll drop a little lower today because my poor voice is hurting. Not hurting, but just struggling with life. Oh, let's go here just for the sake of showing you an example and a tip. I'm going to find that for myself, and that's going to be my home base, and I'm going to play around above and below my home base, and now I'm going to hum it through a straw. And I would give myself, I'm already feeling a little bit better. I would give myself a few minutes to play. And then I would take just a phrase and practice speaking in this, and then practice variety in this area. Still finding my neutral sound, and then playing above and below it. Still finding my neutral sound and playing above and below it. For those of you who felt that I was too sing-songy earlier. This is the place to start if you're trying to find a pitch either that is more in line with your gender identity or a character, or in trying to rehabilitate your vocal folds and to find an optimum pitch that might be different than your habitual pitch. If your habitual pitch is on the low side or the high side and straining you, or resulting in you not having a place to go. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and I'm definitely going to share a lot more around voice, whether that's gender affirming voice or playing with what your voice is capable of, and creating a sound for your character or a sound for yourself that feels healthy, supported, and authentic. But in the meantime, this is where I want you to play and start with, is find a note, hum it hum it through a straw. Practice speaking it. If you want to, you can be a little bit more sing-songy as you do it. Just pick up a tongue twister or a bit of text from a piece that you're working on and explore what that is for you and how then you can turn that into sensation so that you're not relying on how you hear yourself, which we know is not how other people hear you, but rather how you can feel yourself so that you're more in touch with your sound and your words and your vibration so that other people can then connect with your vibration, your sounds, and your words. Wonderful. So there is your project for this week. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will